Brr, it's cold out here, guys. Let's go take a walk and warm up. Hey everybody, this is Lynette with 13 Moons Homestead. Welcome back to our channel. Chilly out here today in the Pacific Northwest. We've got about 41 degrees. It's a little colder than we're used to even in the wintertime here, at least midday, which is what it is right now. It's after 1 o'clock. But it's a good time to take a walk and work up a bit of a sweat, at least for me. This will be an active walk for me. So I thought it was a good time to go check out the pasture. I haven't walked the perimeter of the pasture yet, so I need to see where the existing fence line is and how much of it is still up, and what kind it is. I have a feeling it's going to be mostly barbed wire because they had horses here before. If we have animals, it's likely we'll have goats, sheep, potentially alpacas, but any of the things that I would keep would walk right through a barbed wire fence. So if that's the case, then we will need to put new fencing up. And I have a feeling also that the vegetation is very overgrown past the fence line. I can see it on the end near the house and the driveway where we've already been able to get up closer to it. So I'm going to take you on a little walk and show you the perimeter of our little pasture. So to give you some perspective, there is the barn. We're standing kind of down in the front little paddock area, which seems to actually be divided into a couple small areas, but that gives you an idea. The front of the barn where the trailer is there faces the driveway, and then this side here faces the pasture. I'll pan down into where the pasture is here. And where I'm standing right now is a gate from one of the paddocks going into the pasture. So let's take a little walk. Excuse the bumpy ride. It's definitely a little lumpy out here. So over on this side you can see that's where the gate is. If there was fence attached to that post at one time, it is not now. I know there is some fencing back there somewhere in the raspberry brambles. This is the side of the pasture that also goes along our driveway. Let me turn and give you an idea here. Here's our little open space. It's a pretty little pasture. We have some dead trees that we need to cut up and turn them into firewood. There's definitely been some deer out here. There's a bit of a trail worn around the perimeter. These are very thick. I don't know if... It looks like at least some of these actually did produce berries this year. Let's see if we can get a close up. There's even one little frozen berry on there today. And here's some that, astoundingly, the birds did not eat. So these ones are blackberries. It's kind of a shame to get rid of them when they're producing, because not all of the brambles that grow up do produce fruit, but these ones clearly are. So we'll have to explore the rest of the property and see which other ones are producing. So as we come over here, I can see there's going to be a drop off at the edge of the brush line there. You can see it better over here definitely drops off. It is a little bit hilly going down towards our driveway and then the road. That is a very cool tree. There's our driveway down in the foreground right here. And this is a neighbor's house on the other side of our driveway. Actually a shed or a barn or something there. That's all our driveway. It's very long. I'm not seeing... Oh, there we go. There is a fence post. You probably can't see it. It's right there. So that's how far back. It's pretty far back from where I'm standing that the underbrush has grown up. It's also down a little hillside, which I imagine would be fine for goats. Except that it's barbed wired, so definitely have to change that out. I don't know if you can see through the trees back here. You can see there's the road out front of our property, pretty far back. I'm guessing we probably could fence much further in because I think goats would be okay in the wooded area. We can get pretty close to our property line at the road. Okay, now I'm at the back of the pasture, so let's turn around and see. This is what the barn looks like and the driveway up there at the front. If I remember correctly, the listing for this house said that the pasture was about an acre. I don't know yet until I do some more research how much space goats or sheep or anything need, but I'm guessing I could probably at least get a spinner's flock here and some milk goats, and there would be plenty, especially if I supplement feed. There's these little plants down here at the ground level look like baby's breath. Maybe they are, I don't know. Pretty anyway. This looks like it might have been Queen Anne's. Definitely very overgrown on this side too. Oh, somebody bedded down here for the night. Probably not too long ago. We do have black-tailed deer here and potentially elk and cougars. Though cougars would not bed down on the ground, I'm sure. That's also a very cool tree. I love the way the moss grows on trees in the Pacific Northwest. Every forest you walk into looks like a Dr. Seuss. So I can see the fence line here. And on this side, I don't know if it's our fence or if it belongs to the neighbor, but it's right here, right along there. And it is also just 2 strands of barbed wire. This tree is maple. You can tell by the giant, the maple leaves all over the ground too. Here we go. This is the closest I've been able to get to a post. It's not 2 strands, it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 or 8 strands, but still barbed wire. And where the trees stop and it opens up on the other side is neighbor's property. So kind of close on this side, but we do at least still have tree barrier. Swing around. There's this end of the barn. If you watched my barn before video, you remember the birds inside that were freaking out. They were inside this door, inside those windows right there. So this is the other end from the driveway, and that door does slide all the way open too. And it looks like, from peeking out that door previously, there was fence line that started right at the corner and came around here. And it looks like there's a fence post here. So this may have been a little separate turnout area. And certainly could be, again, it would be good to have a few different areas to split up animals if needed. And then we'll come back around to the side of the barn here. So this area definitely was fenced off separately, and you can see the this fencing back here was put within the larger fenced area. That would be outside the stall that was clearly they kept chickens or some kind of birds in. There was a roost in there. So that all needs to be torn down. That door, whatever they put in there, was a glass door of some sort. Needs to be replaced with Dutch doors like the other two. And it looks like we'll have to build up the earth maybe a bit to the bottom of the doorways. For horses, that might have been an okay distance to step out, but it would be, I think, too tall for sheep and goats. I don't know. I will have to research. If one of you knows, please tell me. I'll come back around. Over there is the gate that I walked through to get into the pasture. We'll head back that direction. There's a tree that we had taken down. It needs to be cut up for firewood, stacked to dry somewhere. It was dying or dead. More of the great mosses and funguses that grow on trees in the Pacific Northwest. Looks like these are all kind of reflecting the fuzzy stuff is actually a pale green. And then there is more white stuff attached to the branches. See if that helps a little. That's a better. And we're back to our gate. And there's a little paddock area I started in. That also has a gate you can see back there that opens to the driveway. which I assume was for loading and unloading horses into a trailer or something. Studio building in the background there. The house and our dumpster because we're still doing renovations. And back to the barn. Thanks for coming and taking a walk with me today to explore the pasture. If you guys have any comments, suggestions, or anything about clearing out brush or what kind of fencing would be great for like goats, sheep, alpaca, or anything else that we talked about in the video here today, I would love to hear from you and get the benefit of your experience, because I don't have any experience raising animals yet. I know we have a lot of work to do before we can even support them here, but I feel like we have a foundational infrastructure. It just needs to be cleaned up and shored up and repaired, and we probably have maybe a year of that to do. I'm hoping maybe a little less. I'd like to be able to have the opportunity to get animals in the spring if possible. But let me know if you have any comments or if you have any questions that I can answer, and we'll see you again in another video. Thanks for coming along.